Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. This is a top spiritual awakening and new thought ancient wisdom podcast to teach you how to become your highest self, unleash your spiritual superpowers, discover your soul's purpose, and manifest your dreams. Hi, I'm Dr. Erin, Doctor of Divinity, and I'm committed to bringing you the best manifesting and coaching tips, spiritual advice, trauma healing, and metaphysical recovery secrets. I'm here to help you reprogram your subconscious mind, monetize your spiritual gifts, and love your life. I want you to know that I've been exactly where you are, and I believe in you. Together, we're awakening the world. Hello, my spiritual community and family. I am super excited today to break down the theme for 2024, the spiritual theme for 2024. This theme has come through, channeling through me very loud and clear, and I cannot wait to break this down for you. But before we get into that, I just want to say I'm so incredibly excited because I'm going to be launching out a new format to the podcast for this new year. And it's going to be super amazing to be connected, stay in the current times, and break on down our spiritual community in what is going on for the week. And it's really great for me because as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, as a spiritual teacher, I am a creator. I love to create, and I can never batch things too far ahead because I have so much creativity that comes out of me every week that I cannot wait to break on down a few things for you each week. We're going to be going through what the universal law of the week is. We're going to be going through what the current events are happening in the community, kind of the takeaway from the big weeks, the current events happening out in the world and how we deal with them from a spiritual perspective. And we're going to have a lesson of the day, whether that be from a coaching perspective or having an expert on the podcast to bring some wisdom. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of things going on. So let's do this. Let's begin by doing what we do best, which is doing a spiritual mind treatment. So as spiritual practitioners, as coaches, as a doctor of divinity, we always begin by getting our mind right. And that's what I want us to do. On the new podcast, we're going to be getting our mind right, really setting our goals for each week, setting our intentions, really getting clear of our core principles, our core vision for our life, being able to set a daily spiritual practice for the week, being able to really set those core soul-based goals. So let's take a deep breath together. Taking a breath in and suspending at the top and exhaling out. Letting it all out through the mouth, inhaling again through the nose, suspending your breath at the top and exhaling out again. And then one last time, inhaling in and exhaling out. And in this divine moment, I recognize and acknowledge this one spirit, this one source, this first cause, love, divine, God source, the nameless. I recognize it is the creator of all things good and bad, the creator of the light and the dark, the creator of the inner and outer world. I recognize this one creative force. I see it in this beautiful view that I have here in Santa Barbara right now. I see it in even the cancer that one of my best friends just went through. I see it in the wars in the East, and I see it in the homeless in Los Angeles. And I also see it in the beautiful connections and the beautiful stars in the sky and the flowers in the yard. And I see this divine presence. I recognize this one divine source that creates all of life. And in this, I recognize and identify, know my true identity is that source, that I absolutely am the source that has created all of life. And in this, I declare myself to be somebody who vibrates so high that is undeniable. I declare for this week, for this podcast, for right here, right now, to claim who we truly are, which is untouchable, unstoppable. It is a power so great that creates miracles. I simply know this, and I declare this to be the most powerful, profound podcast for something exactly what it is that you need to hear today, right now. I release this into the law. I know that whatever is being created with such perfection. It is done, 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 as together we say, and so it is. Okay, and so it is. So the topic of this podcast is the spiritual theme for 2024. And here it is. Drum roll, please. Support. Support. What does that mean exactly? I mean, spiritual support, business support, family support, community support. So how this came up for me particularly is through meditation, through deep work, but really and truly it was through some really dark emotions that were coming through. And like all of us, we have light and dark emotions that come through every day. The positive movement is one of the really a sick movement because we are all dynamics. So as I was traveling back out to California and grieving part of my life in Miami, I allowed myself to have these beautiful emotions coming through. And man, they were some dark emotions. And it was really beautiful because years ago, I would have clinged on to it or made myself wrong or thought life is hopeless or whatever it would be. I'd put the meaning around it. But as we know, and as we teach with the E4 trauma method and such, recognizing that it's the meaning that we put on the emotions that actually have us cling to them. And if you allow them to go through in neutrality, that there's wisdom that comes out of the emotions. So as I was allowing myself to go through these deep emotions, I realized, of course, that I'm tapping into the collective because there wasn't really anything that sad to be about. It was literally like I was tapping into a lot of the collective, a lot of the wars, everything. And I felt this deep sadness, hopelessness, and even depression tapping into there deep in meditation. And I realized that there's a theme that is coming through for each and every one of us. And it is support. We need support. So as I came to Santa Barbara, I thought I was just going to come here for a week as I was transitioning back to be bi-coastal between Los Angeles and Florida. But I was up in this beautiful home that I rented from a high school girlfriend, and it overlooked the whole ocean and the beautiful Santa Barbara. And the second day I woke up and I was like, wow, why would I not stay here longer? So I asked him if it was available, and it was available for the month or so. So I was like, okay, great. So it was perfect divine timing also because one of my best friends from high school had been diagnosed with breast cancer. So she was going to be going into surgery. And so I was here for all those events. And as I was watching the unfolding of her being able to go into surgery, and there was a stream of events and support system, and she had so much support around her. I mean, everybody rallied forward and she called it forth. It wasn't like it just happened. She communicated to everybody and said, I need support. And she put certain people in charge, and they made sure other people were in alignment and support. We had multiple get-togethers. We had actually a blessing ceremony that I led. It was really beautiful. And the point is this, is that we all are going through hard times. I don't care who you are, it's relative. Obviously, people who are going through war in the East are going through extraordinarily hard times. But no matter what you're going through, we're all going through a lot, whether it be health issues or relationship issues or not being able to figure out how to monetize in your business or, troubles with things and life. Everyone suffers because everyone's human. So as I'm witnessing this and as this collective energy is coming through, I realize that this really is the theme. And so I invite you to have this theme for 2024. I invite you to really take a look at how can you be more supported, whether that be getting involved in more and more in our spiritual community, whether that be, coming to networking events or, going to your local, whatever school or meetup, whatever that is. I invite you to have the theme of 2024 be support, to be supported to others and to receive their support. Okay. Because it's both ways. Here's my girlfriend. I was thinking about, she had all these people that have supported her. They're bringing her food every day, flowers, all this stuff. It's like, there's this blessing and this curse in us, right? All of it's a blessing because whatever she receives, and there is somewhat of a obligation from a universal law to do the same and give that back, right? This is the blessing. And some might say a curse, right? This is a beautiful responsibility of support. So I'm going to invite you to figure out a way, and we're going to be going through this through the podcast, of how to actually bring more and more support and networking and bring together a community. So having said that, here's a few tips for you before we get into the lesson of the day. Okay. Number one is I recommend with all the emotional intense times for everyone is number one is to double down on your spiritual practice. So for me, it comes and goes a bit in my spiritual practice, but every breath I take is my spiritual practice. Sometimes I will just stop and do 3 minutes of breath of fire and get my mind right. And literally it resets my entire neurological system all the time. I also have a lot of like EMFs and stuff in my hands from being on the computers a lot, and it will actually help that a lot as well. So doubling down your spiritual practice. Number two is actually a topic of part of the lesson of the day, and it's doubling down on your authenticity. And this is so important because what I'm seeing even in our community in the business calls and things is that people are frustrated. They're frustrated with social media and all kinds of things. And spirit is demanding for us to pivot in our businesses. And what does that mean? It means love is the way and the law will make it possible. This is our primary teaching, right? Oneness and understanding how we manifest and create. Love points the way and the law makes it possible. So the point is, if you're not thriving in your business, not thriving in your relationships, not thriving in your health, it's because there is an inauthenticity there. There is a limited belief. There is a lie. Okay. So that means you need to pivot to do what you really love to do, whether that be in-person events, whether that be heart to heart, whether that be whatever it is, the more authentic you can get, the better. Okay. So number one, double down on your spiritual practice. Number two, get more authentic. And number three is double down on having a support system. Okay. These are the three things I'm going to recommend for you to be supported. Ask for support. Okay. Ask for support. So let's break this on down. Today, we're going to have a lesson of the day. The lesson of today is a really important law of the universe. And it's not a name from one of the laws of the universe. It is an actual physics. It's a physical law of the universe. And it's called constructive and destructive interference. So this means vibes matter, okay? We've always said high vibe, but how the hell do you get to high vibe, right? Okay, we know that authenticity is the most important thing. But constructive and deconstructive interference is imperative. And I'm going to kind of shift here. So go to a completely new topic, okay? So here I am. I'm out and I'm going down to Los Angeles, looking at places, being around many different friends that I've been around for years and things. And I have one friend in particular that is so high vibe. It's like you only meet a few people in your life that are so high vibe that it's almost like, do they ever have a negative emotion that comes through, right? Do they ever it's like, what did they do? I'm like so curious to know, and I've interviewed him as well. But so there's a quote here. But first, before I stop that thought. So the point is that there is a constructive and destructive interference when you're with people. There's people that you vibe with so much that actually the physics law is that it will actually exponentially grow when two energetics come together. And if they actually really come together, they will actually duplicate extra, like they'll go 10x in the energy. Okay. You have a friend like that, where when you're with that friend, you don't know what it is, but you guys just sync up and it explodes. Okay. There's also what's called destructive interference. Okay. Some might say if you had cancellation earphones on, okay, imagine that's not how it works, but that's a metaphor for it. Okay. So imagine that you put on the cancellation headphones and like you literally can't hear them. Okay. Or they can't hear you, right? There's certain people that you just feel like you can't be seen around them, right? Like your energy goes completely flat. Or somebody's so loud or so vibrant and you're not at their frequency and you feel like you're not seen also, like you literally just go blank. Okay. These are metaphors, not exactly. Okay. I'm not saying it in a scientific way. You'll have it in the notes, the scientific version. Okay. But the point is that we either harmonize or we don't harmonize with people. That as you are looking to the support for this next year, my greatest suggestion and advice would be to pick people that absolutely inspire you, but know that you may not inspire them. Okay. So you want to be in somewhat of a zone where it's just enough to where it's making you have to reach. You become better when you're around them. You get inspired to want to be better around them, right? They lift you up. Okay. But be careful, because if you don't rise to them, they ain't going to rise. They're not going to come down to you. Okay. So constructive inner circle support system is imperative. And I want to read a quote right now that is actually something that was just posted on one of our Instagram pages. And it is a voiceover with quotes, okay? And it says this: vibrate so high that certain people can't even be around you because your energy is so strong. Vibrate so high that anybody that wishes you to evil upon you shall be revealed. Vibrate so high that any evil entities feeling uncomfortable in your presence. Vibrate so high that strangers come up to you and give you compliments. Vibrate so high that anybody that wishes you harm towards you shall be perished. Vibrate so high that anybody that has evil intentions shall be revealed. Vibrate so high that you heal the earth. Vibrate so high that you heal your community. Vibrate so high that you heal the world. Vibrate high. And I don't know about you, but as they said in Shawshank Redemption, this is literally a quote that is living in my heart right now, which is, you better get to living or get to dying. You're doing one or the other. You're either spiraling up or you're spiraling down in the polarized world. And as Ram Dass says, look, we're here, we have a curriculum here. We're not here to just be in the ethereal spiritual realm. We're here to also be totally human, to master both places, okay? So it's not about spiritually bypassing and trying to be neutral on everything. You want to get into the polarity of your life. You want to get in the creative stance. You want to have an opinion. You want to have your core values. You want to have to place boundaries on people. This is part of our human divinehood, okay? So you can read in below, because you'll have notes and things here about constructive interference and be able to really break it down from a perspective for your friends and family or whatever you want, and really understand the destructive interference as well, and being able to really use, visualization, right? So you can imagine two waves traveling towards each other in a surface of water, right? And constructive interference, if the peak of both waves meet, they combine to form a huge higher peak. We see this like in the ocean, right? When the wave comes in, and it goes all the way to shore, and it starts going back out, and it'll meet the other wave and it'll peak into this huge thing, okay? Destructive interference is if a peak of one wave meets through another, they tend to cancel each other out, resulting in a lower wave, okay? Say that there's a pebble, right, that you drop in the middle of a pond and it starts waving out, and another wave is coming, it might start to cancel out a little bit of the other wave, okay? So the point is, you want to have an inner circle of people that lift you up. I'm so psyched to come back into Los Angeles. And whether it is, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, maybe on a world tour tomorrow. So you never know. So don't hold me to anything I say. But I'm so excited to be in Los Angeles or wherever I am around people that light me the F up. That I want to live. I don't want to die. I don't want to keep dying just a little bit each day. When you're dying just a little bit more each day. We all know when we're dying just a little bit more each day. It's undeniable. And as they say, depression is suppression. And I haven't been depressed any means, because depression is a real thing. And if you're dealing with depression, please seek help, okay? But I've touched on depressive moments, okay? We all get there at times. And just like everything, we're fooling ourselves. John DeMartini, I love that guy. He said that he took a journal for 2 years when he was in his 20s, and he wanted to try and stay positive. And he said for 2 years, he wrote all his emotions down. He said there wasn't one day that he didn't have negative emotions coming through. We are human. We are here for all dynamics, okay? We're here for all dynamics. So in this, I'm just knowing that the perfect support system for you, the perfect constructive interference of harmonizing and exponentially exploding in your creativity and your love for life. And so I'm so excited to know that the theme for 2024 is support, spiritual support, business support, friendship support. You should have multiple circles of support. That is a massive focus. And when you do that, that is when people thrive. Relationships matter. You matter. Ask for support and give support. Okay. So in this, I'm so excited, just recapping you guys. So the podcast is going to be super exciting this next year. I'll be doing some of these where we basically break down our goals for the week. Okay. So we're going to going into your goal. If you're in the community, I help you break down exactly how to goal set as a CEO of your personal professional life. We do that at the beginning of the quarter 4 times a year, and we do it every single month, every single week, every single day, every single hour. We set our one thing. So this week, my question for you is, what is your one goal? Okay. You want to really get clear. You have 4 primary areas of your life. You have your relationships and love as one area, career and money as another area. The third area is relationships and love. And the fourth area is purpose and calling. I'll say it again. First area, not in a particular order, is relationships and love. Number 2 is career and money. Number 3 is health and vitality. Number 4 is purpose and calling. Okay. So you want to think about these 4 areas of your life, and you want to pick one goal for this week. Okay. One thing you want to produce, one thing that you want to embody. Okay. And you want to write it on a sticky tab. Okay. And you write it down. And you want to get clear that you want a bigger vision of what that is going towards, right? Those are the work we do in the community. If you're not already in a community, I highly recommend that you come into the community. You can message us, email us. The links are below. You can come on social media and DM me, whatever that is. Get your tush in a spiritual community. Our spiritual community is amazing. We do all the inner work. We do all the transformation work. We also do all the business work. We develop massive master coaches. Okay. So in this also, just knowing that there is truth in all this. And so I just want to break on down also what this week's universal law is. Okay, the universal law this week is the universal law of secondary causation. This is it's so ironic that this is a law this week because just of what we're talking about. So basically, within every creation, there is a ripple effect of other creations. So, for example, if somebody starts using drugs and alcohol as an example, then they actually have the addiction that goes on. And so each time that they're thinking about drinking, then if their addiction's going on, then it's going to be a secondary causation. Okay. Meaning that the addiction is already in them. Okay. If that makes sense. Another secondary causation from a positive standpoint would be if you have set up automations in your company, then there's going to be automatic creations. Okay. So within every creation, there is a ripple effect of other creations, all material and corporeal objects having been created by spirit within their intrinsic potentialities and subsequently empowered by evolved independently accordance to natural law. So basically, this is how it goes. Each effect becomes the cause and creates more effects. Okay. This includes creating from a consciousness. This is a state of existing creation. So everything that you create creates. Okay. So the more positive habits, the more positive friends, the more high vibration that you have around you, the easier it's going to be to stay in a creative state, right? It's like if you put a lot of effort into friends that drag you down, then the effect of your life is that you're going to end up becoming the cause, the effect of the effect. Okay. Does that make sense? It's a little confusing, but secondary causation means that whatever you create, you will become the effect of probably. Okay. We know that you always have the potential of creating from nothingness, but the truth is whatever you create, you end up becoming the effect of. So be careful what you create, right? You want to create incredible, extraordinary community support. You want to create businesses that are automated. You want to create residual income, right? You want to create healthy, vibrant things so that you're the effect of those healthy, vibrant things, right? So that's the causation right there, the universal law of secondary causation. So in this, I'm just knowing, and the advice in this, if you will, is stop reacting and start being the person you've always desired to be. So no matter if you are feeling sad, lonely, or even touching on a depressed state, you've got to take that moment, because if you're not in a full actual depression where you can't get out of bed or something, sad thoughts will come through, right? They stream through your consciousness. But there's always going to be a point in the day or the week where you feel really good. Like you may feel good or okay, or seize those moments. Okay. Seize those moments. Like what I began to do is if I'm ever touching on dark times, then I'll take the times when I'm feeling okay or good, and I'll make sure that I push myself to go to the gym or, put some take bold action in the company with the team or do something, or set up time with girlfriends when I'm feeling decent. So I'm making sure that I'm preventing further times when I'm not feeling good. Okay. So it's really about saying, stop. I don't want to live this life anymore. The emotions coming through me are telling me I'm not living the divine life I'm supposed to live. So taking a deep breath in together, knowing the benediction and the affirmative treatment of knowing that you're power, that you are the force, that you are a creator, that your word is powerful. Your word creates. Your word is your wand. And so in this, I'm knowing that you can at any point in time say, no more. I'm done. I decide to focus on what I am creating, whether I feel like it, whether I feel down. I am deciding that every single day, every single week, I'm going to take bold action to move towards that true life of expression. No longer depression. I say yes to expression. May I live fully. May I love fully. May I fully experience all of life. I say yes. I say yes. I say yes. As together we say, and so it is. Okay, good, you guys. I'm so excited. So each week, I want to help you get your mind right. I want to come in with prayer. I want to come in with a certain lesson. I'm going to come in with interviews as well of experts to help you bring your business, your coaching business to the next level, to help you really get clear of how they did it, their personal stories. I'm going to come in and we're going to talk about the universal law of the week. We're going to set our goals. We're going to do a little journaling. We're going to do some visioning. We're going to do some meditation. We're going to know the truth of who you are. Universal law, metaphysics of life, spiritual psychology, coaching, all this stuff together. Yes, yes, yes. Share this podcast with your friends, so that you can discuss it throughout the week, so you can get your mind right, so that you can put in, you have an ad event, you can add universal law to your calendar. If you haven't already, you can go below to the free manifesting challenge. And on that, it has a little calendar and it goes directly onto your Google account. And it doesn't get in the way of anything else. And it's at 11:11 on Sundays, and you'll see the exact universal law of that week. You and your girlfriends or guy friends can read it together, live it, breathe it, instead of complaining and going depression. It's like, get your mind right. Okay. We're going to set some goals together and know the truth and love our lives. The theme of 2024 is support. May you use this podcast to support you. May you share this podcast to support your friends and support each other. May we know this. Also, I'll be beginning to do the podcast on YouTube. I really have never given any effort to YouTube. I'm going to put it on there and we'll be taking off the audio for here. So I'd love for you to join me over there at Dr. Erin on YouTube. And I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for tuning in to the Dr. Erin Show. If you're ready to transform your life, discover your soul's purpose, and manifest your dreams, go to drerin.tv. Join me in my life-changing events, membership, or certification. If you're ready to become a certified coach and get trained in metaphysics of mind, manifestation, and the creative process, subconscious reprogramming, trauma recovery healing, spiritual psychology, universal law, and much more, go to drerin.tv. If you're receiving value from the show, I would love it if you would share it with a friend and give it a 5-star review. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth.